Sefru this shit.
Yeah, it's strictly on front, yeah, I'm still not a driller. Ain't the biggest moves, but I was born a sinner. Thriller, like Michael Jackson, I'm back from the dead. Yeah, I'm bringing it back.
Hello.
What's going on, brother? How are you?
Hey, bro, how are you?
Sorry about the wait, man. Appreciate that so much.
That's all right, bro. No worries. All good.
First off, my name is Steven from the AVE. I am a writer, photographer, manager, a few different things here for the AVE Media. I write for the AVE Media, for Moto Live, and for Universal Music Canada. So first, I just wanted to say it's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Thank you so much. If you'd like to kind of introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I'm Sefru, man. So I'm a producer here in Sydney, Sydney, Australia. And yeah, man, just been doing my thing out here, bro.
So whereabouts in Sydney though? Like I've been speaking to a few different people out there already. So like I've kind of gotten a little bit privy to kind of some more areas and stuff. So if I'm not mistaken, are you from the Claymore area as well? Like kind of Campbelltown?
It is the Campbelltown area, yeah,
Okay.
but not exactly Claymore. In Campbelltown, there's a few different kind of sections. I'm a little bit further out. I'm from a place called Narellan, so it's a little bit further out of that area, man.
Okay, so I mean, one of my first questions is, are you of Pacific Islander descent as well, brother?
No, I'm not, man. I'm actually half Malaysian, half Australian.
Oh wow, okay, so like it's like
Yeah.
so you definitely you look the part, so you're an Uso by that, hey?
Pretty much, bro.
Well, you're definitely an Islander still, so I mean, definitely being out there, like, you've definitely got some cool connects. So I mean,
Yeah,
like,
definitely, bro.
were you born in Campbellton then?
I was born in a place called Camden. It's same kind of area. Yeah, I was born here, bro. Yeah, pretty much, man.
So you're Australian born and raised, more or less, then.
Yeah, man. Born and raised out here. I grew up in an old, like, kind of country town. It's called Oakdale. I know it sounds like a lot of different names, but yeah, Oakdale's kind of like, it's all country, man. Like I grew up, riding motorbikes and stuff like that, like out in the sticks, man, out in the bush.
I understand that. Don't worry, brother. I was brought up in a small village myself as well. So,
Yeah.
so then in a small area like where you guys are from, then like how did the music scene develop? Like how did you start then? Like what did it start with you kind of producing, or was somebody rapping that kind of made you start producing, or like how did it go, brother?
So basically both my parents are into music as well. They're both entertainers, and singing teachers and stuff like that. So my whole life I've kind of been into music. But I was working like a 9-to-5 job kind of thing. Like I was, going to work as like hard labor kind of stuff, like digging holes and all that kind of stuff.
But
I always wanted to do music, and I was doing music on the side kind of thing. But I just realized that, if I want to succeed in music, you got to kind of do, I thought I had to do it full time, So I gave up, all my previous job and stuff like that, and invested a little bit of money into my own music studio. And yeah, I started actually with an artist called Mr. Mez. He kind of got me into the whole music production thing and really pushed me to do music, you know what I mean? And yeah, if it wasn't for him, bro, I wouldn't have, started music full time.
Well, another question I have is because I used to spin a little bit myself as well. Like I used to do live mixing, I used to play parties and whatnot growing up.
Yeah.
So I remember having the name DJ in front of a name for myself as well. So the name Sefru. Where does the name Sefru come? Is that your name, or is it or what is it?
It's just something unique I came up with, bro. I did used to be a DJ.
That's why you started off as DJ Sefru.
That's right. So I started DJing all the clubs in Sydney. Playing hip hop, R&B, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I've kind of stopped DJing now because like I want to put all my time into producing. You know what I mean? And I just felt, it's just, DJing's not for me anymore, bro. I've sort of moved away from that now. You know what I mean?
You basically answered my next question, which was, when did you feel like the time was right to drop the word DJ before Sefru? So it
was a hard decision, man. But once I made this placement with Chris Brown, that kind of sealed it for me that I probably won't be DJing anymore. You know what I mean? Because it is confusing, when you're trying to make connects overseas in America and where you guys are from. Like it's a bit, funny having DJ in front of it. People must think, some DJ's just trying to hit me up,
Yeah, and that's
a little bit,
and you're right.
To them, Yeah,
language is a big thing to people, especially in this industry as well.
Definitely.
So you mentioned that like you DJ a lot of like rap and a lot of hip hop and stuff, and that's
Yeah,
definitely very prominent in I don't want to say your early work, but definitely like your work
yeah,
throughout everything that you've done, because I kind of started listening to like Aussie hip hop and rap maybe about 2.5 years ago now. And
got you.
I remember hearing your producer tag, Sefru, this
Yeah,
shit bang.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
whose voice is that?
That's actually another artist from Sydney, Kenyon Brown.
Okay,
His
yeah.
name.
So I
Yeah.
I I noticed that you guys collabed a lot in your early days as well, actually.
Yes. Yeah, we did actually went on tour with him. I was a tour manager for those boys their tour and stuff like that. But yeah, no, that's me and Kenny used to do a lot of sessions, and you know, like I still do a lot of R&B kind of music as well. That's what I love to do as well, like that real R&B kind of vibes, you know what I mean? Um and yeah, I love doing the hip hop stuff as well, man. I just try and keep it, you know, I do a bit of everything, you know?
Well, I noticed like in the hip hop side of it, so in relation to the 046 boys.
Yes.
So definitely in a lot of that, there's a lot of like those samples, sounds, riffs, a lot of that West Coast, no, North American West Coast for us, because you guys are on the East Coast out there, right? So for
Yeah.
us, so yeah, definitely that North American West Coast sound is definitely very prominent in your sound, and
Yeah.
you do it so well that I think what you do very well, and
Yeah.
I think it's the main thing that is should be taken into consideration when using a sample is making people forget that it was a sample, or like making
Exactly.
people like, yo, I know what that sound is, but then also appreciating the new product that you've invoked as well, right? So I
Exactly,
think
man.
that's
And
definitely
and
something you do well.
and shout out to my boy Astro. He's my like guitarist, and like he helps me a lot with, you know, the real musical side of stuff, you know. And like if like he's one of the bros, man. He always comes through, and he's a very talented producer, you know. He helps us do on all those records that you hear with the 046. A lot of them is, you know, him replaying some of the samples, you know what I mean? Like he's very, very talented like that, you know.
I
And
love that you guys
that's what
instead
I
of
kind of
no, sorry,
sorry.
continue. No, you go
Yeah,
first.
yeah. So basically, yeah, that's what I kind of got. Like I've got a real good team around me, you know. I've got guitar players, bass players, writers, everything, man. We can I kind of spread it out a bit, you know?
So I love that you actually keep like instrumentalists around, because that definitely helps when it comes to making a sample and putting your own sound or spin or keys into certain things, you know what I mean? To kind of just
Yeah.
put your own sound to it. And so I definitely am a big fan and advocate for that. So the fact that you do that, like, because like
Yeah.
here at the AV, like not only do we do a lot of this media side, articles and interviews and stuff, we actually run a record label here on ourselves as well. So we know what
Got
it means to like really put your heart and soul into a beat as opposed to just ripping one from YouTube. Although you can make some great stuff from a
yeah.
YouTube beat, but like
Yeah.
how much more you can how much more you can do with making a beat from scratch and like really putting your heart into it, and especially having instrumentalists do it.
Yeah.
So that definitely
Definitely.
shows in the quality of your work, brother.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man.
In regards to those guys from the 046,
Yeah.
I actually have had a very great conversation with Koza, their
Yep.
manager. Great guy.
Yep.
And
Yeah. He's
basically
the bro.
everything I've heard from everything he said about those guys, can't wait to
Yeah.
interview them one day. But
Yeah.
they seem like such great humble guys. And
They are, bro. They are.
I'm immersed here in Vancouver in the Filipino community. And that's probably the Filipino community here in Vancouver is one of the more dominant communities when it comes to the creative side, and kind of just showing love all around. And when you think
Yeah.
barbers, tattoo artists, producers, DJs, artists,
Yeah.
promoters, guys that work at the club, guys that work at the lifestyle stores, you know what I mean? When you go to buy clothes at like the nice spots to buy some nice drip, it's guys you know what I mean? So the
Yeah.
culture is all kind of together. So I definitely
Yeah.
understand what it means, like when it comes to your families, your brothers come first. So that's something
Yeah.
I definitely understood the most when listening to their music. So
Yeah.
I definitely see that they sound great with you, and
Yeah.
your stuff sounds great with them on it. So I
Yeah.
just want to say
Yeah.
that when I heard Run Run about was like now 3 years ago now, yeah, when I heard Run Run, I was like, man, this beat is insane. And then
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Run Run was one of their first tracks. I didn't actually produce that one. I'm pretty sure it was a guy named Sammy Heat. I think it was.
Mhm.
But don't quote me on that, man. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that was when they first started, man. I recorded that song and stuff like that for them.
So you're an
But
engineer as well.
yeah, I so basically any beat you kind of hear from me that has an artist on it, I've done everything. So I've
Okay.
produced it, mixed it, mastered it, everything, man.
So do you run your own studio?
Yes, I've got a studio out west here. It's called Red Stage Studios. And yeah, it's a good place for everyone to come, man. It's not in the heart of the city. It's kind of out west a bit where, all this scene is.
Mhm.
And yeah, man.
I've done my research, brother. You guys are about 40, 50 clicks outside Sydney, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
A bit far, yeah, definitely.
When it comes to being a producer, like you kind of find yourself in like, I don't want to say like a middle ground, but it's basically that. You find yourself in kind of a middle ground in the sense of like in between musical acts and things like that amongst like the politics of it all, right? As a producer, do you ever find it difficult if like, let's say X wants to make a song with you, but you're in tight with so-and-so, and there's do you ever find, especially with the upcoming Aussie rap and drill scene, like I've done my research and I've spoken to certain people to make sure that I know that I'm saying the right things to the right people.
Yeah.
Right. So do you find that difficult as kind of like a producer or an engineer in the sense that it's like you don't want an image or you don't want to be, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you 100%. So basically, my main thing is I kind of try and stay out of everything. I'm a producer. I'm not really in the streets. I'm not really doing anything like that. You know what I mean? Obviously there's boundaries as well, because in Sydney, everybody knows somebody that knows somebody, you know what I mean? So like if I took sides on every person I work with, I'd be working with no one, you know what I mean? Like it's a obviously there's a line. If somebody does something really bad, like that's unforgivable. Obviously, you got to kind of pick a side. But if it's just a little bit of politics and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to, pick sides and like, join one side and not work with the other, because I come to the studio to do music. That's it. You know what I mean? I don't ask questions. I don't get involved in anything. You know what I mean? That's the best way that I, want to put it,
I love that because verbatim, that's what Koza said when I spoke to him as well. When writing the article on them, I wanted to make sure that when mentioning one act with another act in the same sentence, as to say the scene, I wanted to make sure that everybody was going to be okay with being mentioned in the same sentence. And when he said to me, he's like, no, we're cool with everybody, man. And he's like, where we're from, everyone's kind of cool with everybody. So
that's it. And that's how I kind of keep it, man. I'm cool with everybody. I don't have any beef with anybody, you know what I mean? Like, it's none of my business, really, Like, I'm here to make good music, and that's about it, man.
Well, speaking of the music side, talking about these guys again, the 046, when E.T. got out of jail and he came out, did you have the song Bless? Did you have the beat for Blessings ready to go? Was that something you guys worked on before, or was that he came out and sorted it out? How did that go?
Yeah, so me and Astro cooked up that beat maybe a year ago.
Okay.
And then as soon as he came out, he came straight to the studio. And yeah, we just played him a couple of tracks, and that was the first one he picked, man, and he just went crazy on it.
He went absolutely insane on that one.
He did. I think he would have been writing when he was locked up, Like,
I
would have
think
had so much stuff ready to go.
Time.
Like me and ET probably with the other boys as well. Like, he's probably done maybe 20 verses since he's been out. You know what I mean? So we got stuff ready to go,
When did you guys record Blessings?
Blessings was probably less than maybe 2 months ago.
Jesus. He got out, hit the studio, made that the song, recorded the video, had everything ready to go, and wow. Okay. So you've had a very busy couple months then.
I have, man. I have. Like, we've got, I don't want to ruin anything, but I'm not sure if Koza told you, but there's a new album, in the works and stuff like that with the 046.
Yep.
So yeah, we've got a lot of stuff ready to go, man. So it's been really, really busy for me, man.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, and I definitely wanted to save it until I got to know you a little bit more. But how do you feel with your about your latest development in the North American scene, like you said, with that Chris Brown placement? Like,
yeah, man,
that's big for you, brother.
Yeah, man. Especially being on the other side of the world, you know, like
Mhm.
it's always been a dream of mine, you know. Like basically when I first started, I thought just working with Australian artists, I was cool with that, you know. But to have, like an idol like that, pick up one of your songs. Like I made that song 2 years ago. Oh, yeah, 2.5 years ago. And it's taken this long for him to pick it up. So like people think, you just send beat packs out and it gets picked up. Nah, that song was done 2 years ago, man. It's been sitting there and
So
it's only in place now.
explain that process, because like the placement process, like even for a producer, like it can be
Yeah.
that blueprint can be pasted over for an artist trying to get a placement with the song as well. One of the
Yeah.
best examples I know is Trap Queen by Fetty Wap. Like I
Yeah.
remember when that song released, it didn't get famous in North America or like properly for about 16 to 18 months. You know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
means somebody had to have heard it randomly again and was like, wow, this song's great. Why isn't this,
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
in that case with Chris Brown, then
Yeah.
you sent the beat pack and he took the beat and you left it as is, and you were like, if you use it you use it, or was it did they pay for the
So
beat? How did it go?
yeah, so basically, how I kind of figured it out is like, sending beat packs over to America, it's, everybody's trying to send beat packs, So what we actually did, me and another writer from America, his name's Wilbert, me and him actually did the entire song. So he wrote all the lyrics, I did the beat, and then we presented it as a demo, to his label, like the A&Rs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, basically the easiest way to do it is try and have the whole song ready to go, So you send it over as a whole package, So all he's got to do is really sing it.
So having somebody that you can kind of have melodize or sing on that beat that you guys put together kind of helps
Exactly.
round out your submission process. Then it kind of
Exactly.
helps you stand out a little bit more than just
A beat.
sending 55 wave files of just beats.
Exactly. Because if I do that, then they have to send it to writers and then they might not like the beat, like if I can get the whole thing ready to go so the artist can click with it straight away and goes, yep, I want that. Like that's how I kind of do things, man.
So since that's happened, obviously you've got a lot of friends and a family and some obviously Australian industry support down there, showing their congrats for you being Grammy nommed. Having a song that you helped make or you made basically from the foundation up
Yeah.
that you then performed, knowing
Yeah.
that something that you crafted like is one of your babies in your artistic life. How does
Yeah.
how does that feel for you as the person, brother?
It still doesn't feel real, man. Like it really doesn't feel real, just seeing my name in the credits there, it's pretty crazy, man.
I'm not gonna
But
lie, man. The moment that I saw like the post and it's like, oh, people were saying congrats, Sefru. I'm like, wait, what? Shut the
yeah.
fuck up. So I went Spotify, open credits, boom, saw Sefru, and I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I've been saying
Yeah.
Sefru, this shit bang.
Yeah.
Like how people shout out ad libs randomly. I've been saying your D producer tag out loud, So like to hear that, to know that that was you, like
Yeah.
brother, from me to you, congratulations, man.
I
Like,
appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. And like I said, man, like I've been trying to get placements, like big placements like that for years, like two,
mhm.
3 years, And out of, I might have done 50 demos or whatever, he's picked one. So like it's you got to kind of keep it really consistent to be getting consistent placements, So that's why this year I'm trying to, do a lot more, send 200 instead of 50, So then maybe I can get a few more.
Well, what is your life schedule looking like for 2023? Are you looking to stay placed in Sydney for now? Are you looking to make a jump over, like not live, but are you looking to
Yeah.
make your first like West Coast and North American
Yeah. Yeah.
tour
So
for yourself? Not
obviously,
tour, but like you just come and meet some people and do some stuff.
man, I would love to. I would love to. Just after all this COVID stuff, we haven't been able to travel. But yeah, definitely 2023. I want to try and get out there, man, for sure.
Well, definitely here in Vancouver. I mean, like, I don't know what you know much of Vancouver, if you know anything about it at all, but
I actually don't, man.
well, here in Vancouver, we've got one of like the youngest creative scenes in North America, to a
Yeah.
point where everyone here is still so close and family oriented, right?
Yeah.
If you were to show up here, man, there's
Yeah.
so many artists here that are on like right at that level of the 046, and a lot of the guys in Australia where they're still at like the 200 to 700,000 monthly listeners. They're right on that cusp of making that push. Vancouver has some of those types of artists as well. So I mean, if you were to ever come out here, there would definitely be a foundation. And here at the AVE, we could definitely show you around. If you were to like go to Toronto, we know some people there that could help you out. You know what I mean? But
that sounds good, bro. That
we're
sounds
big,
really good.
we're massive fans of what you do, man. Especially myself. Like I said, I've been tapped into the Australian music scene for a bit. And like I saw there was a song you did for an artist named Jamel. And
Jamel,
man, that guitar loop you use, man. Insane.
He's cool too, bro. He's a really cool guy as well, man. He's on the come up too. He's gonna blow as well, I reckon.
Yeah.
Sure, definitely.
I mean, I was gonna say you kind of have a slightly of a magic touch at the moment. Like now that you've got that Chris Brown Grammy nom, like how has your line been in Australia? Have more and more guys kind of been like, yo, Seth, I need that beat. Seth, I need that beat.
Definitely, man. Definitely. It has picked up a lot, man. And you know, like I'm trying to think, you know, I might have to put another engineer or something on at the studio. Just it's a bit hard to do everything by yourself, you know what I mean? Like I'm doing absolutely everything, so it's getting a bit crazy, man.
Brother, do you know what that means? Do you know what feeling uncomfortable means? That means you're growing, man.
Yeah, exactly, man.
So if you're starting to feel a little bit itch or a little bit of or some heat under you, that's the best thing for you, man. So
it is,
I'm so happy for you.
Can't complain about the phone ringing, bro. So
no, never.
Exactly.
Well, I guess I don't really have much else to ask you. I think this conversation was so smooth, and like I can actually say like I feel like we're friends after this, man. Like
definitely, bro. Definitely.
Is there anything that you wanted to say? Anything you got going on besides, you know, the 046 stuff? Anything that we can have? Any projects that you want to plug with some artists that you want to?
Not at the moment, man. It's a bit early to say at the moment, but yeah, I guess look out for this 046 project, man. There's a lot of different things on there. It's not just West Coast G-Funk or anything like that. It's a lot of, you know, they're taking a little bit of different direction, doing more melodic stuff and all that kind of good stuff, man. So yeah, it's gonna be good.
I actually do have one more question. I realize I kind of spoke a lot about those lads, but when it comes to like working with a lot of the other bigger acts out there, I don't know if you'd be spilling beans or anything like that, but any of the other acts that like maybe like M-Ways or HP Boys or Sydney Youngins or any of these kind of guys, like you've definitely got to have something in the works with some of these guys. Cause like I said, man, I know my stuff. I listen to these guys.
You do, bro. You do.
Yeah. KZ Bandit. Yeah. I listen to all these guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Me and M-Way's got a few lined up. It's just, at the moment, it's hard to tell when artists want to drop things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone's got a different schedule. But yeah, I've definitely got songs at the bank with a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's just, when the time's right, they'll drop it, man. I don't want to spoil nothing, you know?
Well, I don't know if you've already thought of this because you're kind of, you know, I think great minds would think alike, but I think you're almost at that stage, or if not already there, to start doing an album kind of your own sense, like a DJ Khaled style, where it's...
That's another thing I've been thinking about doing for 2023, man. I want to do maybe like a 5-track EP and just have,
bring a bunch of acts.
Yeah, whole bunch of different artists that I'm working with and just drop it as a little project, man. That's definitely something I'm thinking about.
It's kind of something that happened here in North America is DJ Khaled. What he did is he kind of took that veil off of like, oh, all rappers hate each other and no rappers like each other, you know? And when you started to see all these names on the same track or the same album, you're like, man, the community really does love each other. You know what I mean? And as somebody that has done his research and is like been as tapped into your guys' scene down there, your guys' media unfortunately plays the rap and drill scene to be very dark and very, you know, they would rather focus on one track and label that as the whole genre as opposed to take a step back and listen, right? So I feel like you might be one of the guys down there that has the opportunity to kind of smooth some of that out and kind of have some of these acts kind of make songs together, or, you know, even in groups that people don't think have issues, but just to see them on a song together, you know what I mean? Like for example, it was actually Young and Lips that got me into Australian that drill scene, and so when I heard his music, I was like, wow, they've got something going on there. And then I dove into Hooligan Hefts, and then 1-4, and then Day One, and then the 046 and Sydney Youngins, and so on and so forth, right? So I really like opened up and like started to learn, and then you know, just like other places in the world, when you start to use area codes and certain areas as names, like I understand what that can mean sometimes, right? So that's what I was saying. Like I feel like you definitely have that true opportunity, especially now with like that little bit more of a stamp of recognition for yourself, because producers definitely go under the table a lot of the time, right? Like you don't get to, like, people don't think about the producer, you know?
Yeah.
Now that you've got this
exactly.
this Grammy nomination, like it definitely makes it like, yo, this Seth's got some shit going on. So now if Seth says, yo, do you want to make a song with these guys? Because I think it's gonna pop. Guys, like, you know what, man, you're right. You know, I think you've got something going on there. So
definitely, man. And yeah, that's what, you know, I try and stay away from all the, you know, postcode stuff and stuff like that. Like all me and all the 046, it's about good vibes, you know what I mean? We don't really not trying to do anything too crazy, you know what I mean? It'd be good to get a few artists doing that as well, for sure.
I saw their interview with that guy from the hood or whatever his name is. I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
Buddy with the do-rag. Great interview.
Yeah.
That guy's got such a cool personality. I love it.
Yeah, man.
They mentioned you guys. They mentioned you in the little sentence there. They were like, yeah, us, Pistol Pete and Enzo, Sefru, like we're all from the same area. And he said what you said. It's all about good vibes and family and having a good time with it. So to hear you basically say verbatim what they said, like it definitely shows that like it's not just something you guys say. Like you guys really mean what you guys say when it's like, no, we just love doing this and we just want to have a good time.
Exactly. And we all click together, man. Like me and the 046 boys, we do sessions every week, you know, and it's always a blast, man. Always.
Well, definitely want to wrap this up, and then I definitely want to ask you something quickly after we wrap it up. But brother, it's been a pleasure, like actually finally getting to meet you, and after a little bit of back and forth. Bro. So I want to just say from Steven here at the AVE, everybody based here in Vancouver is like, we all congratulate you on what you're doing. I recognize what you're doing, and I'm hoping to spread the good word about you guys more out here. You as a producer, man, you are definitely doing something. You got something beautiful in your brain that comes out so nicely, sonically in a song. So
appreciate it, bro.
It's an honor to meet you, man.
Yeah, I'm still not a driller. Ain't the biggest moves, but I was born a sinner. Thriller, like Michael Jackson, I'm back from the dead. Yeah, I'm bringing it back. Can't fuck what they said, cause my flow's too hectic. Please don't test it. Step up to a G, I'ma show you who the best is. ASS mate, take a